And welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us. We got an exciting program for you today. We're going to talk about a fig tree. We're going to talk about Israel. We're going to talk about some diamonds. And Doc is here with me here in the studio. And Doc, how's everything going with you this week?
Rough, but good.
Yeah, it's been hot down in here.
Oh, man.
And it was 101 degrees Sunday.
I'm glad I'm not in Texas, though, 113,
Yeah.
115.
I talked to Brother Smith on the way to the studio. It was hot down there today.
Oh, it's supposed to be awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
We need some rain, just like the greater majority of Midwest all the
Yeah.
way through, yes.
before we get into our topic today, which I believe the folks are going to really enjoy, let's talk about what's coming up in about a month. We got a conference that you and I will be at, you're speaking at, but we're all going to be there in Shepherdsville, Kentucky, which is 15 minutes from the airport in Louisville, isn't it?
Yes.
And just a hop, skip, and a dodge, or hop, skip, and a jump, I guess.
Easy to get to.
Yeah, real easy to get to. Folks, if you'd like to be a part of this, Doc is going to be doing his walk-through time. And for the first time, it's going to be recorded and put on a DVD set, a 6 DVD set. It's going to be recorded professionally right there at Lighthouse Baptist Church, Shepherdsville, Kentucky. And you can look that up, or you can contact us if you need phone numbers or anything like that. There are several hotels in the area, good restaurants, and Sunday it's going to be 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and 7 p.m. So 3 of the 6 sessions are going to be all on Sunday. Sunday's going to be a long day for you, Doc.
And it builds on itself, because we start in eternity past and walk our way 6 lessons later, we're in eternity future. And so each one builds on itself. They're interrelated to each other.
Okay.
Yes. But we follow the same theme.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, folks, if you'd like to be a part of this and come and sit in the audience, sit in the church, you could come in Saturday night. If you're coming from away, you could get a hotel in the area. You can be a part of the service. You can get to hear Doc do his presentation live, but it'll also be recorded. And so that's going to go from Sunday, July 30th to August 2nd, Wednesday. So half of it, Doc, will be done on Sunday.
Yes.
The 3 services. It's going to be 6 in all. And then Monday night at 7, Tuesday night at 7, and Wednesday night at 7.
And they might, I don't know how he wants to do it, but a lot of times on Monday and Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, we meet a little early for question and answers.
Okay, so plan on coming at 6 possibly. So I know I've talked to several of our supporters and partners and followers, and there are several of you out there that are considering making the trip and just spending the 3 or 4 days with us. And there's one other thing we're doing, and that's we're going to record a live Prophecy in the Spotlight television show on Sunday night, the 30th at 6 p.m. So, Doc, there's one more thing for you to do. You'll be doing the Sunday school. You'll be doing the morning service at 11. We'll go to lunch. We'll come back at 6 p.m. and we're going to record one of our television programs right there in the church with Pastor Jordan. David Jordan's the pastor. We're going to interview him. The topic is going to be pastoring in a Laodicean age, and what it's like to pastor the Laodiceans. It's going to be very interesting, I believe. So really looking forward to that. And then at 7 p.m., Doc will get up and do his part 3 of the walkthrough time. These will also be available sometime after that. They'll be produced, and you'll be able to order those. So. Hey, it's a good chance to come to a conference. It'll be very exciting. You'll get to rub shoulders with both of us. You'll maybe get to go out to the restaurants with us, and even breakfast at the hotels. It'll be a good time for you. You'll enjoy it. You'll get something from it. And so I want to encourage you about that. All right, Doc, anything else I'm forgetting? Anything else?
No, sounds like you pretty well covered it.
All right. So let me read my verse, and we're going to talk about Israel. We're going to talk about the fig tree budding. We're going to talk about some diamonds in just a minute, and an anniversary. And so I think you're gonna get something today that'll be exciting for you. In Matthew 24, very familiar verse. Anybody that is involved with prophecy knows this passage well. Verse 32, Matthew 24:32 says this: "Now learn a parable of the fig tree. When his branch is yet tender and putteth forth leaves, ye know that summer is nigh. So likewise, when ye shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the doors." Know that what is near? The end time. And in the beginning of the 70th week of Daniel, it will be on the horizon there. So the fig tree, Doc, type of Israel. Everybody pretty much agrees with that.
Trees are always used in prophecy concerning a kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And in particular, the fig tree,
yes,
everyone agrees is Israel. Of course, most of the Bible's about Israel.
Well, I mean, you can trace it many, many places.
Yeah.
He talked about when Babylon took over Israel, they barked the fig tree.
Yeah.
And
Jesus, when he rides down the hill on the donkey, what we call Palm Sunday, he goes in the temple, he overturns the tables. Interesting when you learn the timeline there.
Yes, it is.
We've heard sermons about the overturning the tables, but very few preachers ever help you understand.
The timeline of
that's
it,
just a few days before he dies.
Yes, it is.
And he goes in there, he's upset because they're selling sacrifices in there and
making a mockery of what it really symbolized and foreshadowed what he was getting ready to fulfill.
Yeah. A lot of preachers take it the wrong way. Oh, we're not supposed to sell anything in the church. That's not what it was about.
No, that's not what it is, and not at all.
Yeah, it was about selling the gospel, basically selling salvation. That's what they were trying to do, and he makes it whip.
Because people weren't bringing what represented them.
Yeah.
It's part of it.
And when he comes out of there, of course, he's going to go back to where Mary and Martha were.
Bethany.
He's eventually going to go back there. But he comes out of the temple and he sees a fig tree.
Yep.
And again, look at the timing here.
Yep.
When you realize the time, he's getting ready the Jews are getting ready to reject him.
Right.
In just a couple days. He sees a fig tree, and it looks like it's ripe, but when he goes up to it, it fooled him.
No fruit there.
And he curses it.
And he'd just given a parable about a fig tree, and that the husband had come and said, well, let's cut it down.
Yeah.
And the other one said, well, let's cumber it about, let's fertilize it, let's dig it around and see if it won't produce. In other words, the time frame there was a 2-year period of time. It's amazing. From the time he's using a figure, and now he's using the cursing of the fig tree, say, you still haven't brought anything forth, and I've been here showing you who I am.
Yeah.
And he cursed it, and the nation was cursed.
Yeah. And because they're gonna give us Barabbas.
Yes.
They're gonna reject him.
Absolutely.
And but their day is coming again.
Yes.
And the light's gonna come on for them.
Yeah, they're in blindness right now.
Yeah. As a nation, but
as
individually, they're a Jews.
And many of the Jews are still in blindness because they just won't allow themselves to see what the Old Testament plainly shows of the crucifixion of Christ.
Well, you've got a verse for us, and then I want to share with the audience a little bit about the diamond.
Yeah.
And,
out of Zechariah chapter 12, I've got a book that we talked about a couple weeks ago a little bit, and on this subject, and it says, and in that day will I make Jerusalem a burdensome stone for all people. All that burden themselves with it shall be cut in pieces, though all the people of the earth be gathered together against it. Before we look at it too far, he says, in that day. I've discovered in my study time that always when you find it, in that day, it's always in reference to the second coming of the Lord in some way or the other.
Okay. Now, I was on the phone with Michael Samuel Smith, and he and I have talked about this before, and he's got some tidbits here, but I don't know if people realize, but from May 14th, 1948 to 2023 is 75 years.
Yes.
We are in the 75th anniversary of Israel becoming a nation.
Just a few weeks back, not even that long even. Yes.
Yeah, and 75. I don't know if people realize it. It's the what we call the diamond anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
If an old couple has been
Right.
married for 75 years, that don't happen too often
Nope.
because unless you get married when you're 10 or something. But
I've got 20 years to go on that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll make it, but
yeah,
anyway.
well, I think you're going to be going to another wedding
I'm
before
ready.
that. But anyway,
But it is the diamond.
a
yes.
diamond anniversary is here. Now you and Michael Smith is the one that I got this from.
He sent that to me, and I thought it was very insightful.
The diamond is the hardest stone known to man,
Mm-hmm.
I believe, and they'll use it in drills and stuff. And what he believes prophetically that this is saying is what you just said, that
Yes.
that there's coming a time when Israel will be that burdensome stone,
Yes.
that hard stone.
I think it has been for considerably quite a while now, but it's really coming to that point.
And we talked about that last week.
Yeah.
What's going on in it? They've got some new weapons. They're up against it.
Yes.
They're going to have to get hard, and they're going to have to fight for their life.
And of course, there's been books written. Coyne, I believe is his name, had written a book, The Eye of the Storm,
Yeah.
and different things
Yeah.
of that nature. Seems like every time we've gotten involved with doing what Joel warned about, parting God's land,
God judges.
God brings, in other words, he's saying every time somebody gets involved with the things of Israel, it's just going to get cut in pieces.
Well, there's another interesting thing here, and I shared this with Brother Smith, and I don't think he had caught this, but not only is Israel 75 years old, if you go by the 1948 date.
Right.
I believe Israel took root in 47, the fig tree, and I think it bloomed or budded in 67, but that's just, maybe there's not much difference there. But there's something else. Abraham was 75 years old when he and his family entered the promised land that God sent them to. That's interesting.
He was 75 when God called him to leave the Ur of the Chaldees, and I don't know if you've ever studied it, but he left an unbelievable pagan world,
Yeah.
going to a city that God had showed him, and that's why he could live for the next 100 years, satisfied to live in a tent because he couldn't find any earthly city to match the one God showed him,
Yeah.
and that's the one I'm headed to myself.
Yeah. So we're kind of in a diamond anniversary here. There's a relation to Abraham as well, 75 years old.
Yeah.
A lot of people are looking at this year for the Lord to come back.
Yeah.
We're not date setters,
It'd be a good year.
but I'm okay.
Last year would have been a good year.
I'm okay if he wants to come this year.
Yeah.
And all right. So just a few tidbits there. Israel seems to be in that place right
He's
now.
right.
The hard
Seems to be
stone.
where it's just cutting everybody up.
Yeah. And that's what a diamond
And nobody
does.
can handle it. They can't break it.
Yep. Yep, it breaks you.
Yes.
And that's what a diamond does. You don't break it breaks you. And yeah. All right. Well, folks, we're about out of time. Thanks for listening in today, whether you're via the radio or here on YouTube. We appreciate all of you that partner with us, and we are here because of the gifts and the partnership and financial partners who watch us. Thank you very much, all of you who give to the ministry here. And hope to see some of you at that conference in July 30th. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear from you that you're coming, and that would be wonderful. Well, until next time, keep your eyes on them skies.